Mafia hitman Rocco ruthlessly kills an Italian family of 4, mistakenly thinking they are the Manzonis. He severs the father's finger and sends it to the incarcerated mafia boss, Don Lucchese. Upon testing the fingertips, he realizes Rocco killed the wrong people, and he's ordered to continue his search. Meanwhile, the real Manzoni family is leaving the USA for Normandy, France, under the FBI's Witness Protection Program. The family consists of Giovanni, a mafia boss, his wife Maggie, their children Belle and Warren, and their dog Malavita. They are constantly on the move and changing their identities due to Don Lucchese, who tried to kill Giovanni years ago over a rivalry. In retaliation, Giovanni informed the police about Lucchese, resulting in his imprisonment. Lucchese's men are now relentlessly hunting Giovanni for revenge. The family arrives at their new house in the dead of night. After restoring power and starting a fire, Giovanni pretends to survey the property while secretly burying a body from his car trunk in the backyard. The following morning, everyone prepares to begin their new lives. Maggie explores the town, finding it lacking excitement. She visits a cafe and a convenience store, where she overhears employees and customers insult Americans in French. Enraged, she creates an explosive trap in the store's storeroom, calmly pays for her groceries, and leaves just before the explosion. She then has lunch at a fast food restaurant and visits a church, where she befriends the priest. Belle and Warren attend their new school, where Warren quickly encounters bullies who beat him up in the bathroom. During lunch, he shares his observations about the school's social hierarchy with Belle and plans to establish a small mafia group there. After school, Belle walks home, followed by a car of teenage boys who invite her to join them. Initially, she declines but eventually accepts their offer after getting lost in town. Instead of taking Belle home, the boys bring her to a lakeside hangout spot frequented by teenagers. When the leader makes inappropriate advances, Belle grabs a tennis racket from the car and teaches him a lesson. She then takes the boy's car and drives herself home. Meanwhile, Giovanni smokes a cigarette at the property gate, which he isn't supposed to do, quickly noticing hidden FBI agents watching him. He goes inside to explore the glass garden shed, where he discovers a working typewriter. Deciding to write his memoir about taking over the family business, Giovanni fabricates a story about being a writer when meeting his neighbor. During dinner, the family is visited by Robert Stansfield, the FBI agent overseeing their case. He approves of Giovanni's writer cover and inquires about a missing shop owner, whom Giovanni had actually killed for selling him spoiled seafood. Stansfield reminds Giovanni to stay out of trouble and introduces the FBI agents assigned to protect him, Disico and Mimo. That night, Giovanni has a nightmare about a barbecue party from years ago when Lucchese tried to kill him. The next day, Maggie becomes upset upon learning that Giovanni is writing a memoir, fearing the potential consequences. She prepares food for Disico and Mimo before asking Giovanni to check the brown tap water since the plumber won't show up. At school, Warren begins making connections and recruits people for his small mafia group, while Belle defends herself against a girl who stole her pencil case. Belle spots a handsome guy, Henry, in the cafeteria, whom Warren identifies as a college student substitute teaching math. Despite facing competition from other girls, Belle secures private math lessons with Henry. Meanwhile, Warren confronts his bullies with help from his new connections. At home, a tardy plumber frustrates Giovanni, who becomes more irate when the plumber suggests replacing all the pipes. Giovanni assaults him with tools and transports him to the hospital in the plumber's van. Doctors struggle to understand the extent of the plumber's injuries. As Rocco murders the seafood shop owner's family for not having information on Giovanni, Giovanni continues writing his memoir, reflecting on his time in Brooklyn. Later, Maggie confronts Giovanni about his altercation with the plumber, leading to a passionate encounter. At the weekend barbecue, the family hosts their neighbors to integrate better into the community. Maggie questions Belle about Henry, who assures her mother that she will be careful. Warren brings soda and convinces Maggie to serve American food, which the neighbors enjoy. Even Disico and Mimo join the festivities. Giovanni, however, is missing from the party. Belle finds him in the garden shed, where he confesses his regrets about not being a better father. Belle disagrees and reassures him that he's the best dad. Reinvigorated, Giovanni joins the party but becomes annoyed when neighbors try to teach him how to start a grill fire. Giovanni contemplates torturing the rude neighbors but is interrupted by Stansfield's arrival. They discuss Giovanni's memoir, and Giovanni assures Stansfield he won't release it publicly. Stansfield reveals that Giovanni's snitching has led more mafia members to seek FBI protection. Belle is disappointed that Henry didn't attend the party. The next day, Giovanni visits the mayor about the brown water problem. Unsatisfied with the lack of a solution, Giovanni visits the water company and learns a local fertilizer factory may be responsible. He confronts the factory boss, who eventually reveals how to deactivate the turbine causing the dirty water. Giovanni leaves the man in the middle of the road with a threat. Returning home, Giovanni finds Stansfield reading his manuscript. Stansfield enjoys it, but scolds Giovanni for writing it. Meanwhile, Maggie visits the church and confesses to the priest. Her disturbing admissions haunt the priest, who later bans her from his church. At school, Warren hastily submits a quote from Lucchese for the school newspaper, which eventually reaches Lucchese's prison cell. Recognizing the quote, Lucchese sends men to Normandy to find Giovanni. After class, Belle visits Henry, and they make love in a locked classroom. In the evening, Giovanni receives an invitation from a neighbor to attend a film event, where they watch and discuss a movie. Despite Stansfield's objections, Giovanni agrees to attend and convinces Stansfield to join him. The next day, Warren's illicit activities are discovered, and he plans to flee to Paris. Belle is heartbroken over Henry, who sees her as just a fling. Giovanni plants a bomb on the turbine causing the brown water and attends the film event with Stansfield. They watch Goodfellas, and Giovanni shares his real-life mafia experiences, which the audience assumes are fiction. Concerned, Stansfield instructs Di Sicco and Memo to initiate Plan B. Meanwhile, Warren waits at the train station, and Belle threatens to jump off a roof while calling Henry. Both siblings spot incoming mafia hitmen and rush home to warn their parents. The hitmen kill everyone at the police station and sabotage the fire trucks. Maggie joins Di Sicco and Memo, concerned about her missing children. Simultaneously, the bomb Giovanni planted explodes, providing him with an alibi during the film event. Stansfield drives Giovanni home and instructs him to stay inside while he speaks to the police. Maggie tries to return home, but she spots the men in black and retreats inside with Di Sicco and Memo. The hitmen blow up the house and kill anyone who investigates the noise. Giovanni survives by hiding in the garden after Malavita barks a warning. Maggie attempts to leave, but when Di Sicco and Memo open the door, they are killed by a hitman who threatens Maggie. Giovanni intervenes, strangling the hitman, while Maggie stabs him with a knife. As the hitmen search the house's ruins, Warren and Belle arrive, stealing weapons from their cars. A gunfight ensues, and the siblings kill most of the hitmen except for Rocco. After Warren falls unconscious from recoil, Belle flees, hoping Rocco has run out of ammunition. Despite his age, Rocco pursues her until Stansfield intervenes, running him over with his car. With their identities exposed, the family must relocate and assume new names. Nonetheless, Giovanni is pleased he shared his story with an audience, even if they believed it was fiction. Make sure to subscribe and turn on notifications to stay on top of all the latest recaps and never miss a beat. Thank you for watching.